We are doing an update for this past week on keto, so stay tuned. Everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lydia. If you're new here, I've been on my keto weight loss journey for 21 months and I have lost almost 90 pounds. I'm on my quest to lose a total of 125 pounds. So if you want to see me reach my goal, make sure to stick around. Now, this week was an interesting week because I try to do everything exactly the same as last week. The only thing different that I did was I incorporated Sole water a little bit. And the week before, I'd noticed I wasn't feeling too great because I was doing the sodium supplement of the Sole water. And I started like 4 tablespoons a day. And I started feeling really bad because my body, I guess, just wasn't used to that shock of the intake of sodium. And I decided to stop doing it. And I did see a little difference on the scale. This week, I wanted to just kind of put in 1 tablespoon a day just to see if I felt any different or if it made a difference. And well, let's just go into the numbers, I guess. So this week, my average calories, my goal, I had upped my calories from 1231 to 1300. So my goal was to do 1300. But what I noticed is if my goal is 1300, then if I end up getting 1350, 1375, that's okay. As opposed to if my goal was lower, like let's say it was 1200, then maybe I would be more likely to hit 1250, 1275. Does that make sense? So even though my goal was 1300 a week, I tried to stay under 1300 or around 1300. And so it averaged out to be about 1317 a day, which isn't bad at all. I'm just 17 calories over what my goal was. My goal for protein was 130 and I got 123. So trying to hit that 130 grams of protein a day was a little difficult for me based on what I was eating. I was starting to roll up turkey slices just to try and get some of that protein in, or eating some of the Fage yogurt, trying to get some protein in. So I found it a little bit difficult to try and get that 130. So I averaged at 123. My fat goal was 70 and I averaged 76 this week. So it's a little bit harder for me to cut the fat because if I eat red meat, it has fat in it. If I eat bacon, it has fat in it. So, I just have to be very conscious of the types of meat that I'm eating because it does include some fat if I eat a chicken thigh versus a chicken breast. And then carbs, of course, the goal is to keep it under 20, and I averaged 16 net carbs per day this week. So all in all, my numbers looked good as far as my macros were concerned. My steps, my goal is always to get 10,000 steps per day. That's not always the case, but this week I averaged 7,135 steps. So it's not bad. It could be better, but I did notice that it was an increase from last week by 4,966 steps. So wow, I will take that and run with it as a success for this week. And now before I get into my weigh-in, I do want to say for some reason this weekend I didn't track. I did end up eating 1 meal on Saturday, but it was a big barbecue meal and I didn't input everything in. We were celebrating a birthday, but I did keep it keto. I had, oh my gosh, I had a lot. I had a beef rib, brisket, sausage, green beans, and a side salad. So I'm sure I was over on my fat intake just based on the type of meat that I did have. Of course, I didn't have any birthday cake or anything like that, but that was the case for Saturday. And then Sunday, I was on the road all the entire day, but that's going to be for next week's numbers anyway. But I didn't track this past weekend, so it kind of threw my averages off because I'm not counting Saturday's numbers with my averages this week. Now for the weigh-in. So the interesting part about my numbers this week is when I weighed in on the same day, from last week, Saturday morning and Saturday morning, my weight was exactly the same, 178.0, 178.0. So I was a little disheartened about that, disappointed about that. But when you take my averages for the week, because it was fluctuating a lot, it was going down to 177.4, 177.6, and then it just happened that I weighed myself Saturday morning and it landed at 178. But the average for the week was 177.6. So when you compare this week's average to last week's average, then it is a loss of 1.2, because last week's average, I was averaging 178.8 for the week, and this week I averaged 177.6. So that is an average loss of 1.2. So I'm going to focus on that little tidbit of information, because that is also another definite win. I did not go to the gym again, but like I said, I did increase my steps, so that was a goal. I've been keeping track of my blood pressure, and it's not as low as I had wanted it to be. The plan for next week is to just completely cut out the Sole water altogether. I'm not going to try and supplement sodium if I'm not feeling bad and feeling the need for it. I really honestly think I season my food to taste, and I probably use heavily a lot of pink Himalayan salt. So I think I am covered with my sodium intake, just based on the fact that I don't feel bad at all. So I'm trying to listen to my body in that respect. I do want to start toning and exercising again. I'm not sure if I'm going to be hitting the gym this week, but I do want to start doing a little bit more weights and toning, and just to see how I feel. I did start a weight loss challenge with a group of YouTubers and also some people within the weight loss community. And we are doing a challenge all the way until the end of April to see who loses the most percentages. We are divided up into teams. And so that's going to be exciting. I'll be weighing in every week and turning in my numbers. And then as a group collectively, we will see which team loses the most in percentage wise. So that's a new challenge for me that I'm excited to take part in, and that's with Lose It Sarah over at her channel. So it's going to be an interesting upcoming few weeks. We have Easter next week, and we're hosting, and I'm not sure as far as tracking that day. You know, it's really, you know, when I don't have anything to do and I am home all day and I know what I'm eating, and it's easier for me to input those numbers into my carb manager and keep track of my macros. It's when I am going to be gone, or if we have events, or I'm going to go out of town, or, you know, I can't control the food that is being served to me, that I find it very difficult to track. And, you know, I could take a picture of it and try to guesstimate, you know, what my numbers are. But at the end of the day, I don't think it would have made a difference if I had done that on Saturday for this, just because I can imagine it would be a loose estimate. It wouldn't even be an actual accurate count of calories, fat, protein, and carbs. So it was a little bit of a challenge this week, but I feel good this week. I feel happy. I feel energized. I feel pumped. I feel at peace with where I am. I know I'll get to my goal. I just don't know when, like I've always said. And so this week, like I said, what I want to do differently is I want to do an increase in steps and really try and get these numbers up. I do want to track this whole week. I do want to incorporate a little bit more of weight training. I am going to stop with the Sole water and see how that affects my blood pressure and my weight loss this week. Maybe I was retaining a little bit of water since my calories were good. I'm going to try and stick to my calories, but this week I am going to lower from 1,300 back to 1231 and just go back to my old numbers, because I find myself, even if I go over, it won't be as much that if I had set it over. So I'm going to go back to 1231 calories, 110 protein, 79 grams of fat, and 20 carbs. I think that is easier for me to hit than whatever I tried to do last week or this past week. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure to do that now. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.